Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic, Last Known Classics. This is episode number. Excuse me. It is 2239, Doubleshot 2133. Two trades, both from the work of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. One of whom definitely does. Jack Kirby did create this group, but he wasn't basically in the artwork at this point in time. Yep. First that we have is Avengers Epic Collection, Volume 2, Once an Avenger. Yeah, interesting titles they have for this one. So, this book collects issues 21 to 40 of Avengers Volume 1. Of course, Stan Lee is on the book of the writing duties into issue 37, and the last few issues are taken over by the replacement writer, who actually does it for a very good period of time. He does it from issue 38 to issue, I think it was like 108. Yeah, he does 70 issues in a row. Who is that? Roy Thomas. These in particular, like the very first issue off the bat, we have debut of a character who was actually a hero in current day, but for the longest time, from this point up until the 1990s, this character was always depicted as a villain, and he kept changing his name due to various circumstances. Issue 21 is the debut of Eric Johnson. Who is Eric Johnson, you might ask? Well, here he's under his original alias, a Power Man. Yeah, basically it starts the plot for the next few issues where the Avengers are basically framed for stuff caused by the Enchantress and, of course, Power Man. There's, of course, reference to events of Avengers issue 9, where I think that the Enchantress uses the very same machine to create Power Man. Power Man himself basically was just Power Man in these very issues itself. And then when he popped up in the Luke Cage Power Man series, he got into a fight with Luke Cage over the title of Power Man, and he lost. After he lost that title, he became Smuggler. Yes, that was an alias he had for a certain period of time. Smuggler. And then around the late 70s, early 80s, he became a character known as Goliath. As a matter of fact, this was his longest run identity up until 1987, where he became Atlas, a founding member of the Thunderbolts, who was last seen during the Mexican Empire, actually. Now, basically, Enchantress, what she was trying to do was trying to create a new version of Master with, of course, Eric Johnson. He, of course, basically is an original character, and he sticks around. He doesn't die in his debut appearance, like in the case of Wonder Man. Now, this lasts for a good few issues here. Now, by the way, these issues come from the period of October 1965 to May of 1967. Yes, they cover that much. The artwork is done by Don Heck. He does all the issues. And there's Power Man. That's Eric Johnson, his debut. Like, you gotta love the fact Don Heck's artwork here. And of course, Rivers Wonder Man, but the whole thing with these characters. Now, one thing I at least got to point out about something about the Scarlet Witch. Now, normally in modern day, her hair is like very much black. It's raven hair. Here, for some reason, her hair makes her look a little bit older than she actually is. Now, how old is Wanda Maximoff supposed to be depicted as appearing? Normally, it's like late 20s, early 30s. Hawkeye, this is a very young Hawkeye. For him, he's presumed to be in his mid-20s. There's always been a common joke about Hawkeye's age. Like at one point, someone joked his age when he was 40. But never confirmed his actual age is. Yeah, and also Wanda at times. And then we have apparently where the circus of crime get involved with, well, the whole thing with the Avengers. With the whole thing of like Power Man. And this lasts from issue 21. Of course, we also have in the background, we have Kang the Conqueror. Yes. Yeah, he is here to build up his return. Actually, this is during his actual return itself. Basically, yeah, it's basically 2 issues of them versus Power Man. And then from 23 to about, I'd say, then we have in 23 we have Return of King the Conqueror, who last appeared in issue 6. Actually, issue 8, yes. That was his last appearance. This is basically Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver's first encounter with him. And it's an actual story. We also debut of Ravonna, who is his basically future wife. And this is an actual story arc. It starts from 24, and it basically concludes in issue 20. Basically, it's a quick standalone issue. And then we have an appearance when they take on Doctor Doom for the first time. Yes, Doctor Doom. Yeah, this is the first time the Avengers ever fought Doctor Doom. Now, is this a standalone issue? Yes, it's a standalone issue. Now, 26 is beginning of a sort of a mini story arc here, where the Wasp and Giant Man come back into the title. And to be gone for about at this point, probably a little over a year at this point in time. So, yeah, so they agree with work together. Of course, Hank Pym comes back here too. This also with Namor and Tuma. Yes. Yeah, and of course the Avengers have to rescue the family member of the Avengers, Wanda. And of course, I should point something interesting though about Hank Pym and of course Giant Man. At this point in time, the Avengers did not know he was Hank Pym. They had no idea. And then by 28, that's when they found out he was in fact, well, this character. And then basically with 28, we get the debut of 2 really big things. Number 1, we get Hank Pym's first time he became Goliath. And this issue is the debut of a longtime cosmic character who is shockingly still around to this very day and has appeared in 2 movies. Actually 3. Who is it? The Collector. Yes, a guy who, get this, is one of the many siblings of the Grand Master. Yep, the Collector. Who actually this design for him, where he's much more looks like an old man. This would actually stick with him for a long time until the Guardians of the Galaxy movie came out, and basically they updated him based upon the version that appears in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And of course, let me point interesting about Hank Pym and his giant powers. Here they say, oh, he could be giant size for 15 minutes and he only go like 25 feet. Writers over the years have gone back and forth when it comes to Hank Pym and his powers. At one point, couldn't go giant size anymore. He can shrink, no problem. At one point, they retired him. Yes, he is one character Stan Lee has created that Marvel half the time doesn't know what to do with the character, and currently he's dead. Yes, he got killed by Ultron in 2012 as a build-up. Actually, it was 2015 as a build-up to the Age of Ultron movie. Yep, and of course he claimed that the Ultron was his son. Yes. Yeah, then we have rematch with Power Man. And we also have the return, the first appearance in this very title of the Black Widow. Yes, this is the first time Avengers 5. And we also return of the Swordsman. First time he's been seen since issue 20. Yep. Hank Pym's whole thing is that, well, as Goliath, he wants to help Janet, and he, of course, is, well, Goliath. Now, I do think there's actually excellent issues. And we have some underground stuff here with Hank Pym. It all deals with the signs of the serpent. Yeah, it's a version of the Serpent. It's basically, I think it's supposed to be the first appearance of the Serpent Society, which is kind of like the first terrorist group the Avengers have fought over the years. I got this funny bit here where basically Janet playing a kiss on Steve, which, by the way, this goes nowhere. Yes, Steve Rogers and Janet Van Dyne never become a romantic couple. In the regular universe, they do in the Ultimate Universe. Yeah, right after he beats up her husband. Tony Stark will eventually come back and tell, don't worry about that. Yeah, the whole thing with the story with the Serpent is interesting. And then we had the Avengers in 34 battling the Living Laser, who is an Iron Man villain. Yes, an Iron Man villain. We'll see more with the Sons of the Serpent. Yep. Great stuff. It's nice to see Hank Pym back in action. And it appears as though we actually have Black Widow kind of become an unofficial member of the Avengers at this point in time. What the heck? Yeah. So yeah, Black Widow's hanging out with the Avengers, and of course the Ultroids. Yes, the Ultroids. Basically them versus robots for a couple issues. And then something really interesting happens. Well, we can't have Thor, but how about Hercules? Yep. Now, fun fact about this issue. 37 was in fact Stan Lee's last issue, and then this is the start of Roy Thomas's long run of the title. And with this issue here, you have Hercules become an ally of the Avengers, and the very next issue, he becomes an official member. At one point, he shaves his beard and he grows his back. Yeah, he's a character, from what I can tell. Unlike in the case of Hank Pym, Hercules is definitely a character that he's not inconsistent with. Hank Pym definitely is, yes. Yeah, because he got brought here to Earth in this two-parter, he basically is banished to Earth. And then we have issue 40 where the Avengers fight the Submariner for another issue. Yes, suddenly the Submariner. But yeah, really good classic stuff here. I give this book a 10 out of 10. I do like the fact we got into actual story arcs here. Instead of, standalone issues, but here, story arc, which is awesome. Now, Hank Pym is the other one who technically joins the team. He rejoins the team, basically, in this period of time, because he left issue 16 and came back in issue 28. Now, Goliath, he would basically keep this identity until just after issue 50, basically about a few years. Next up we have is Captain America Epic Collection Volume 1. Captain America lives again! Collecting Strange Tales 114, Avengers number 4, and Tales of Suspense 58 to 96. Now, Strange Tales 14, you're probably thinking, what the heck is a Human Torch issue doing here? Well, this issue was teased for the return of Captain America. That's really the whole point of this issue. Issue 4, discussed already, skip over that. So, 59 is simply put, basically, you have it where Iron Man and Captain America sort of fight each other, and the very next issue with issue 59, 58 is basically 59 is he becomes an official feature of the title. Now, we get basically, in these very issues, we get World War II stories, like him basically dealing with a castle siege. Like, we basically also get the backstory of the Red Skull in these issues. Yes, the Red Skull, we get his backstory of how, now, we don't reveal his real name here, per se. We do know how he became the Red Skull. Apparently, he was some stormtrooper who was picked by Adolf Hitler himself. It's like, hey, you, stop. Put on this costume, this mask. And he puts on, bam, it's a Red Skull. He's got a green suit, red mask, white gloves. Yeah, and this is basically the outfit he would sport a lot of the time. Not only that, we get the debut of these issues of Batroc the Leaper. Yep. The Avengers do occasionally make appearances in here because he was making a feature in the book, so why not have him occasional guest appearances, obviously. And we also have an actual story. We also see Nick Fury, who's a recurring character in these issues. Yes, Nick Fury is a recurring character in the pages of Captain America. You're thinking, why would he? Now, you might be thinking, are these issues in particular, do we have the debut in here of, we do see in issue 75, the debut of Sharon Carter. Mm-hmm. And her awesome aunt, Peggy. Oh, and by the way, this takes a period from November 1963 and concludes in December 1967. So a period of about 4 years, which is awesome. I should show off the debut of Sharon Carter. Oh, I think I passed it here. Hang on. Yeah, 75 is also the debut of Batroc the Leaper. Yeah. Basically, she makes a statement by just simply walking by Steve Rogers. Yep. But we also have an actual story arc going here. A story called The Sleeper. The Sleeper is a series of robots that was basically kind of built by the Red Skull and planted in various places in the world, and then they acted first as like a main robot thing and a glider, and then the head looks like Red Skulls. And of course, you can follow up storyline with this in another issue. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, basically, issue 72 would be the start of the story arc, and would conclude in issue 74, but be brought back in issue 101. And I like to tell it was like the final sleep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Red Skull basically would constantly appear. Yeah, he appeared constantly throughout these issues. Mostly, he first made these issues in issues 66. He appeared 66 to 68, 72, 74, 79 through about 91. So yeah, he pretty much spent a good chunk of the issues because he was kind of in a way one of the very few villains Captain America had at this point in time. I like the whole sleeper stuff. I think it was a really cool idea that Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and George Acosta came up with. Yeah, a lot of the stuff in here is just pure awesomeness. It's strange, though, the fact this book ends issue 96. You're thinking, was this the end of Captain America's time in the book? No, he would actually continue on for about 3 more issues, and then issue 100 became Captain America. But this book is pure awesome at its finest. I love Captain America, one of my favorite characters. Basically, he's my third favorite character. And I have read a handful of his epic collection, but this is the very first one. I give this book a 10 out of 10. Yep. So yeah, that's it particular view. I would hopefully have had time to do Demon Slayer, but no time now, so do so tomorrow. Bye.